Good evening. Hope you are all doing good on this Thursday night. It's not Wednesday. Do you know something, Gonzo? Doing a cup of tea tonight is throwing me this week because we normally do it on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But you weren't available last night. So, like, today at work and stuff, I've always thought it's a Wednesday because we're doing a cup of tea tonight. It's completely thrown me. But anyway, how are you doing?
I'm alright. I thought it was Friday. I put the bins out this morning. But there you go. It's been a hectic. The old international break throws it into a little bit of confusion as well. Kids it's all changed. It's all changed, Geo.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching Scotland on Friday, and our defence had a lot of confusion about it as well. Unfortunately, not a good international break for me. So I'm looking forward to getting back to West Ham this weekend. Speaking of international break, it's been West Ham World International break. It's been dominated by one player, really, hasn't it? You know, Fabianski's been playing. Forget him. Josh Cullen, man of match.
I hear.
Forget him. People don't want to talk about him. It's all about Declan Rice. You've done your video, but since then there's been sort of more talk about him because of his mistake against Kosovo. What do you make of the whole thing? Is there anything you want to get off your chest before we start doing questiony type bits?
I don't think so. Not as much as. I mean, he wasn't the only person to make a mistake. I thought they were pretty poor against Kosovo. And anytime that you're in a position, because this wasn't a top level international game, because anytime that you're in a position where you can score, the opposition are going to have to score 5 or 6 goals, or 6 goals in this case, to win the game. That's not, that's really not his top level. So I think there was a drop in the standards from the whole England team in that second game. That being said, I thought overall he had a good all-round performance. I think clearly he made a mistake. It led to a goal. I didn't think it was as bad as Keane's mistake, but obviously Keane was able to rectify his by setting up the assist for the opening goal, of course. But what I think has probably not vexed me, I don't get agitated by it, but has been the criticism of him. And it's not that I think West Ham players are exempt from criticism, but it's the sort of lack of understanding of the role that he has been asked to perform. It's the lack of understanding of that defensive midfield role, and in particular the defensive midfield role of somebody that has been converted from a centre half, with the idea being he drops in and makes an additional centre half. And I felt he was being, in the first game, judged harshly because he wasn't Iniesta or he wasn't playing like a number 10, when really that's not his role. And I also just think that people need to get a bit of a reality check, not just with him, but with the England team in particular, because I don't know what the average age of that England team was against Kosovo, but it was very, very low. Declan Rice is 20 years of age, and I think he is being judged very, very harshly in some quarters. But I do think the West Ham fans have rallied round and got his back. He's got no divine right to that position in the England team, far from it. But he's a good player. He's a 20-year-old player, and he's going to win lots and lots of caps for England.
Yeah, I think West Ham fans are very, I don't want to say overprotective of Declan, but they are very protective of Declan. I've not seen it for quite a while about one West Ham player in particular where everybody's quite determined to rally round, if you like, a little bit. But they do it with Declan. Sometimes I think it's too much, but then Saturday night comes up and actually it's justified why we're so protective of him. It's sort of bittersweet for me watching him play for England, just like it is for any West Ham player who plays for England, because I want him to do well, but I don't want England to win. so it's bittersweet for me. I thought on Saturday against Bulgaria, I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. I thought he was brilliant. I really didn't understand anything. I think the only reason it blew up is because of who tweeted it. That Adam Mikola, or guy, however he says his surname, if the Man United fan, because he's got so many followers and it's a verified account, that blew it up a little bit. Because I've seen other fans, I've seen Spurs fans with that saying the same thing, but no one's interacting with him because they don't have many followers. But because he has so many, it blew up a bit. But he just doesn't rate Declan Rice, and it goes back to even last season. I watched their preview last season before they played us, and he said in that preview he didn't really get the thing with Declan Rice, but he went on to praise Lanzini a lot. He said like he really likes Lanzini and stuff. He just doesn't like Declan, so it blew up a bit. Then on Tuesday he obviously made that mistake, but again I think that's been blown out of proportion because Maguire gave away a penalty, which is in my opinion a bigger mistake. There's obviously the Michael Keane one. But Declan gave away in their half. It was on the halfway line, but he conceded possession in their half. There's still a back four behind him that they had to get past in order to score, plus a goalkeeper. So I think it's way over the top, all this criticism. The one thing I won't do, or I should have said, I know this isn't going to be too popular, when it comes to international football, I don't give them a pass because of their age. Because for me, international football means you're ready. You're playing now. International football is about getting the results here and then. It's not about 4 years' time, 5 years' time. That's what club football is for. Club football is about the long-term project. International football to me is about winning the next game and then moving on to the next one. And that's why you pick a squad every international break, and you don't pick one at the start of the campaign and that does you for the whole 2 years. You pick one every month. You change your squad because you're bringing in foreign players and stuff. So if you're starting for England or any national side, you're in form, and for me the expectation is you turn up and you perform that night. If you're 20, 25, 30 or 35, it doesn't matter to me. You're in that team because you're good enough. You're in. So Declan, for me, Declan, Jadon Sancho, Trent Alexander-Arnold should not get a pass for when they're playing for England because of their age. For West Ham, Liverpool, Dortmund, maybe, because that's different. Does that make sense, or does that not make sense to you?
I think it's too broad a brush to paint everyone with in that sense. I think Jadon Sancho, I agree with your system of thinking, because there are other players of that ilk. He's up against Rashford. There are other wide players who can be picked for England who are creative and are very good. I think what you're saying is right for Trent Alexander-Arnold, because my words, you've got Trippier, you've got Kyle Walker, couldn't even get in the squad. Wan-Bissaka's playing for Man United and is a very, very good player. So actually I do think at right back, actually age doesn't matter, just pick the best one. I think it's a little bit more nuanced in Declan Rice's position, because there isn't an incumbent, established, wonderful player in that position. In many respects, England have got next to nothing there. Lots of good players in lots of different positions, but that's just not one of them. He's tried Delph there. Well, you can't really pay Delph, well, for obvious reasons. No point going on explaining it. Dyer, you can't. He's just not playing for Tottenham. Winks is not really what he wants. That's not. It's pointless saying for Winks. That's not what Southgate's idea. That's not someone that's going to drop in at centre back. So really, it's not that Declan Rice is in there and at 20 he should be as good as the 25-year-old whose place he's taking. He's not really taking anyone's place. So I just think with him being 20, there's scope for improvement, and he's having to learn on the job. Whereas I think a lot of the others aren't, and there is almost no other choice there. I'm sure there are names that people are pinging up, but as it stands at the moment, he is the most outstanding guy in that position. But I do think if there was somebody who was 25 years of age, had been playing Premier League football, had been absolutely brilliant, who was playing in Declan Rice's position, Declan Rice probably wouldn't be in the team. So we're looking for him to improve. He is vastly inexperienced, and when I was talking about his age, just that the point is he's going to get better. I mean, he put out the tweet saying that he would learn from that, and I do believe he absolutely will, because whenever he's made mistakes for West Ham, and he has made 2 or 3, he does learn and he does come back stronger, and he is very strong mentally. Geo, he's not going to let that get to him. I hope he's not going to overly read all the comments. There's plenty, as you say, plenty of very nice West Ham comments for him to read if he so chooses. Hopefully he doesn't spend that much time on social media anyway. Hopefully he just pops his tweet out there and, praises his mate Mason Mount for making his debut, and closes up the phone and cracks on and whatever, goes out for a bite to eat with his girlfriend and doesn't even worry about it. But yeah, the point of the age is he's just going to get better and better.
I think he does read social media because Declan cares. That's the type of player he is. He does care, and apparently he's on his phone a lot as well. So he's doing something on his phone, and so I do think he reads social media, but I do think he's quite an honest person. And what I found tough, I actually found toughest, is on Wednesday morning. I seen a clip of his interview with ITV. It was about the personal messages he was receiving about moving from Ireland to England, and I just thought, the guy's just got 2 caps for England. You've won 2 games, scored 9 goals. You're asking him that, but I don't blame the interviewer. I blame the fact that that's even a topic. The fact he is still getting these messages, and that's where I just think it's too far. And it's not just Declan; it's all footballers in this day and age. And I just think he's got such a lot to deal with. But I thought he played well. I thought he did okay against Kosovo. I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch against Bulgaria. Against Kosovo, I thought he did okay. His stats looked like he had a brilliant game, but I thought it was okay. Not just his mistake, but he did all right. The problem for Declan playing for England, for me, if I may, is having Jordan Henderson next to him.
100%.
Like, I think it might be good for him for the talking, having someone like a natural leader next to you talking you through the game and stuff, but they're both so similar in the way they pass the ball, and I just think like maybe having someone like Winks next to him, maybe Winks is a bit too much like Henderson, maybe having someone like Loftus-Cheek when he's fit there instead of Jordan Henderson would do Declan Rice the world of good. Someone that takes the ball off him and goes forward with it, because the criticisms for Declan wasn't about his defending, it was about his lack of attacking, and that's what I thought was a bit strange. I thought, hang on a minute, like, it's like you said, it's about understanding the role and expectation. But the pass he didn't do for Sterling, if he tried it and it got intercepted, the same people would have said, what are you trying that for? You're a defensive midfielder, just give the ball to someone else that can do that, that's your job. And I've been watching a lot of I watched your video with about Declan Rice, and you were saying he's probably been told by Southgate to keep it simple and stuff. And I've been watching, have you seen any of the clips? I'm going to go off on a tangent a bit from off the ball this week.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
I don't know. I think it's a podcast. I've only ever seen it this week, but they did a thing. They did like a road show, and they had Roy Keane and Guy Neville on stage.
I've watched both shows. There's actually I've split it into 2.
Yeah.
I've watched 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
of that. It's dynamite. It's brilliant.
But anyway,
it's brilliant.
Anyway, that's all. They're off the ball on that. So I've watched quite a lot of it. Well, I've not watched all of it, but it's just brilliant. It's so like Roy Keane's just fantastic. But anyway, there's a bit of Roy Keane in there. Roy Keane says when he played for Forest, Clough said to him, "I've watched you in the reserves. You can pass." He went, "Yeah, I can pass." "You can move." "Yeah, I can move." "You can control the game." "Yeah, I can control the game." He says, "Just do them 3 things and you'll be fine." He said, and Roy Keane laughed and said, "That's all I did in my career." And you almost think that's probably what Southgate says. Declan, I've seen you break up play at West Ham. Yeah, I can do that. I've seen you tackle. Yeah, I've seen you keep it simple. Yeah, just do that. Do that, and you'll be fine. Listen, we'll roll on away from the Declan Rice thing in a minute because it's a bit boring, but it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating that he's played so well. But the thing is, I'm just glad that he's not. He certainly doesn't come across as a fragile personality.
No.
And you know, we've seen with the Newcastle thing that things like this actually motivate him. Things like this actually inspire him a little bit, and it will come back to haunt him. So, what's your final words on the Declan Rice situation, and then we'll move on.
Mounting out of a molehill, and I tell you what. When there's no international football, it's social media requires fuel, and I think a lot of it. I think there was a lot of agitated people on that day. I don't know what I can't remember exactly, but I think something had happened in Brexit as well. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But that day, the Bulgaria one, I think there was a lot of agitated people online, and you know what it's like, Geo. You got all these people, and I'm without, I'm not going to talk about the politics of it at all. But you got one group of people who believe one thing, and another group of people who believe another, and they're all just spouting this stuff out, and not one of them is convinced another person to change sides or the other argument. Everyone is entrenched in their argument, and they're screaming at each other, and they're insulting each other to a large part. There are some people having reasoned political debates, but I found myself looking at it thinking, actually, it's really, really nasty. In fact, I was having a text conversation with somebody who had been banned from Twitter, and he messaged me and said, I've been banned from Twitter, and I was saying to him, mate, it's nasty. It's nasty at the moment on there. Everybody, it's... Actually, I won't tell you what I said, but I said that everybody's in a bad mood at the moment. You're probably best off away from it for a few days and take a sabbatical. And I couldn't help thinking that Declan Rice thing, the fact that happened on the same day when I thought, oh, everyone's in a bad mood at the moment. There were a lot of jokes on. You know what I mean? Sometimes Twitter's funny, isn't it? There's memes and gifs and things like that. But it was a feisty, spiky place to be. And I just think added to the void of no football with international football, people are just looking at something. And you know what? Other times during the Premier League calendar, you won't have Man U fans looking at how Declan Rice is playing, or Tottenham fans, but all of a sudden you've got he's the focus of attention. But he is. Don't forget, he's already made the bravest decision of all, which was to make that decision to not represent the Republic of Ireland anymore and represent England. He knew when he did that the eyes of certainly those two countries at least were on him. He knew it was going to make him unpopular with the whole country, and he did it anyway. So here is a man with broad shoulders who's quite willing to take a bit of stick online, a backlash, if he thinks it's going to yield the right results and do the right thing. He's focused, he's motivated, he's mature, and he'll be absolutely fine.
The only last point I'll say is I think he's an easy target. I think the pundits at half-time in the England game don't help, because they obviously get asked specific questions, they've got to give an answer. And they were basically... I watched the whole game, I watched both England games, and the first half, England were lacking creativity. They were lacking something. They were leading, but it was through Bulgaria's suicidal goal kick. So they were also looking at the team. Fans, the pundits were looking at the team thinking, well, we're missing something here. And then also you've got Declan Rice, who's ticking things over, next to Jordan Henderson, who's just won the Champions League and captained the team to win the Champions League. So you're not going to pick on him, are you? And it's sort of process of elimination. But actually what I found baffling was that people weren't looking at the Chelsea player on the other side of Declan Rice, who probably doesn't even deserve to be in the England squad going by this season so far, creating the same as Declan, nothing. So I think he's just an easy target because of his age, and it's easy to say, well, he's inexperienced, because that's what if someone's 20, that's one thing you can throw at him just like that. Oh, he's inexperienced, shouldn't be in the team. And two, he doesn't play for a top 6 club, and I think that does put a target on your back, because you look at Spurs fans, they're looking at that team, and their precious Harry Winks isn't in it, because where does he play centre mid? Well, who's in centre mid? Chelsea, Liverpool, and West Ham. Well, why is the West Ham guy in there? I think it's just a thing. Harry Maguire will get a lot less stick now because he plays for Man United, despite the fact he's the same player now as he was 6 months ago.
Well, to be fair, Harry Winks and Harry Maguire don't play for top 6 clubs either.
Whee! But the thing is... Very good. The thing is, I think Harry Winks and Declan Rice is your perfect partnership in midfield, truth be told. Both of them. Not a third centre midfielder, just the two of them. Then you can bring in someone like Mason Mount alongside Sterling and Sancho. But anyway, what do I know? So let's crack on. Did you watch the West Ham women game on Sunday? No.
No, I didn't know.
They're on BT Sport.
We played Arsenal though, right? Lost 1-0, lost by a goal?
2-1.
Was it? Yeah, lost by a goal. Yes.
They played really well, actually. They played really well. Are you going to the game at the London Stadium?
No.
Well, over 10,000 people are so far. They sold over 10,000.
That is amazing. That's spectacular. That's a huge success. Huge success.
There's still 2 weeks to go as well. It's not until the 29th. 3 weeks. 3 weeks to go until the game. So they'll fill it out. So 29th of September, London Stadium, West Ham against Spurs. I'm not going either because we're playing Man United on the 22nd. So there's absolutely zero chance I'm coming down 2 weekends in a row. But I watched the game on Sunday. Thought they played well. Some players they've got in the summer look really, really good. Their striker Martha Thomas scored a header. Just look up the header. The goal she scored. It's from about 15 yards out. It's a really good header. There's some good players there. Avit wasn't there, so that's why there's no video from Avit about it. I think he's still in Spain, but he's going to the game at the London Stadium, so there will be a video on the channel from the game at the London Stadium from Avit, so you can come back for that one. Have you seen under 23's form recently? Since that guy took over, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
I think they've won every game.
Yeah, well, they have dropped down a division, to be fair.
Yeah, so but it's cups as well. I think they beat Valencia last night.
Yes, they did. They did 1-0. Yeah, I saw the goal. Saw Holland's goal.
But what about the Newport game last week? Did you see that?
Yeah, what was it, 5-4 or something like that?
They were 4-1 down at half time.
Yeah, magnificent.
5-4. It was ridiculous. 16-year-old scored. Kai Corbett, I know he scored because his mum put up on LinkedIn that is her son had scored. And so that's a fun fact there for you. But the under 23s are doing good. Your boy Nathan Holland scoring. I'm expecting to see him in this first team squad.
It's hard. It's gonna be hard for Nathan because the team is playing so well at the moment. Obviously, the path. Well, the arguably our best player at the moment, Felipe Anderson, plays in his position, so it is going to be very, very hard for him to break him. But I would like to think that there will be an opportunity for him this season. He's in the last year of his contract, obviously, so something needs to be sorted. I would certainly be very, very disappointed if he were to leave, because he is going to be a player. He's thought of highly within the club. Pellegrini rates him highly. He still has that first team locker. He's still trains with the first team. There was only himself and at the start of last season, it was only himself and Declan Rice who were given first team lockers out of that under 23 team, and he still has his there. Obviously, Ben Johnson has now come over and joined up as well. Terry Wesley rates him very, very highly. Was only talking about him again the other day. He's on the cusp. He's on the cusp. I think he might have gone out on loan. If we could secure a new deal for him, maybe then he goes out in January on loan if he's not going to threaten the team. But if he does go out on loan, I would expect him to have a similar impact to what Diangana's doing at West Brom.
Yeah, we've got to do something with him. I think it's almost like wasting him playing in the 23s. I hope Pellegrini puts him in the first team squad sooner rather than later, but I often think Pellegrini prefers to play the senior players. But it's not just Pellegrini, it's all managers. It takes a lot from a manager to leave out, a 28 to 30-year-old in place of a youngster, because that's a slap in the face for that really experienced player. If you were to say to Snodgrass, you're not in the squad this weekend, but then you put Nathan Holland in, I mean, that's tough. Maybe not Snodgrass, because he's for the point of my argument, unfortunately, I picked the most professional player you could probably pick. But if you were to pick someone like Yarmolenko, for example, and leave him out, he won't take to it very well. You're not going to say, no problem, Manuel, I completely understand. But it's not going to go down too great. He almost needs an opportunity. Hopefully he gets against Oxford United. I think that's probably the perfect one Pellegrini could get in order to give him a run. Now, is there any other news of that you want to discuss before we move on to questions?
Well, surely I think you're covering the Declan Rice transfer rumour in the questions, right?
Oh, I forgot about that actually. It's in the title of the video.
I see it.
Yeah, check. I think I called it England Rice, 90 million Rice, and any more Rice.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there we go. Well, it better be discussed then, mate.
What do you make of it?
Okay, so I mean, I didn't see the story. I saw it. I didn't click on it. It's been one of those kind of weeks. Is it genuine interest? It seemed like a silly story to you?
I believe someone who just writes about Man United but is like held in high regard, has a lot of followers type thing, just said that about how he thinks that Declan Rice would actually be the perfect midfielder for Man United, and it might cost them 90 million, but he thinks they should pay it, kind of thing. And then that sort of Chinese whispers turned into Man United want Declan Rice for 90 million. So I think that's where it's come from. So I don't think there's any truth in it. However, we'll play the hypothetical game for the sake of it. Gonzo, Man United want Declan Rice for 90 million.
Well, I think you'd have to take 90 million. Quite frankly, it's a ludicrous amount of money, and you've only got to look at. I mean, that you. What was Ndombele for Tottenham? He was 60 odd million. I mean, it almost allows you to do something like that and bring another. You could bring a 30 million pound fullback in as well if you were to do that. So I think you'd have to. We're West Ham United. We're not in a position to turn down 90 million. We might play a game and turn down 90 million with a hope of accepting 95 or something like that. But you can't really turn down that sort of money, and you just know where that comes in, you're going to do a deal. What I do think is more realistic, though, is actually the bid comes in for 50 million, and at that price I wouldn't be doing any business.
Yeah, I mean, 90 million, the club can't lose, really, can they? They either keep hold of a top player or they get a top fee. It's one of the two. It's a strange one because there's so many different things you have to consider if a bid that large appeared. Even, let's just say 80 million, because I think 90 million is a bit of a... I think more people would say yes to that, I think, but when you come down to 75, 80 million, I think that's where people... Well, what would you say, 75 billion? See, look, you're already hesitating, so...
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of... There's lots of things to consider. Does Declan want to go? So you'd like to think he'd say, no, I'll stick around, but... It's all very well him saying that, but when a bid comes in, it's very quickly might a player go, actually, you know what, I fancy this. But if a player says no, let's just say the top 6 in England remain the top 6, okay? If you say no to one club, chances of them coming back in for you a year later of that is probably slim. You've probably got to score that team off your list and say, well, I'm not getting that move anymore. And you can already go through them and say who could Declan play for. You can score Liverpool off your list. You could probably score City off because they've signed Rodri. So he's only got 4 to pick from now. So if someone was to come in and score him off, all of a sudden half the top 6 you ruled out a transfer there. So there's A, does Declan want to go? And B, how are you going to spend the money? Because if I said to you, would you swap Declan Rice for Harry Maguire? I expect you'll say no.
No.
But it's a similar fees though, isn't it? So would you have swapped Declan Rice for Harry Maguire and 10 million? No. But if I said to you, would you swap Declan Rice for Sebastian Allaire and Yuri Tielemans of Leicester?
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to do. I'm not sure.
But I definitely would.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. The thing with Declan is he is for all he's learning on the job. We're talking about England. He was still pointing, telling everyone where to go, and saying, "Oh, you pass it to him. You pass it to him." He's a leader. He already is a leader. So, whilst players are easy to come by, leaders aren't. You mentioned Roy Keane earlier on. I mean, people probably know if listened to our stuff. My favourite non-West Ham players are Tony Adams and Roy Keane, for the reasons of leadership. That I always think it's a hell of a thing in a team game to actually galvanise and rally your troops. And if you're in a team game, if you're on a pitch of one player and there's 10 others around you, and you can raise their game by 5%, that's an amazing thing to do. People would go through all manner of dietary and fitness regimes to try and get an extra 5% out of players. So I do think to be a leader, to be an organiser, to be inspirational is something intangible. You might get a player comparable to Declan Rice, but you better make sure you're getting a leader as well. And I think that's possibly the hardest thing, which is why I hesitated. Tielemans is a good player, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't strike someone who is bursting with personality, and I think that's something that you'd have to do. You're not only replacing Declan the player, you're replacing Declan the man, and he has got a big character.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think that's a fair point, to be honest with you. Can't really argue with that in terms of leadership about Declan and lack of leader at West Ham once Mark Noble goes. So I'll give you that one. So for 90 million, I would say yes. On the Provisio, it's thoroughly reinvested, all ploughed back in.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be, hasn't it? You can't get away. Or if the board really wanted to smooth things over, the board really wanted to calm the fans, the board would have to chuck in an extra 20 million out of their own pocket. Say, look, 90 million, that's not enough. 120, go replace Declan and upgrade 1, maybe 2 positions in your squad as well. We're going to chuck money in as well to make it a really big transfer kitty. What would worry me with this board is we'd hear spin about the wages. Declan was only on 50 grand a week. That's what we'd hear. So if you're bringing in a player on 100 grand a week, we're already 50 grand down. You want to bring in another player on 100 grand a week? Well, it's 150 grand a week. We're down.
And the agent's fees.
Yeah, and the FIFA 10% thing. So they get.
You can't get your 10% knock. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Chelsea get their portion as well because they've trained him at a certain age and stuff. So you get all this stuff come out, and
all of a sudden you're buying Nigel Quasi.
You won't be part of it.
That's all we can afford.
The other thing is, you do not sell him in January. I would not want to see him go mid-season. If someone comes in with 90 million, say, look, we'll accept it, but you ain't moving until the summer. You can have him on day one in the summer for that much, but you ain't getting him in January because it would just disrupt any good work that you've done. It would put a bit of pressure on the homegrown quota for next year because while Declan's not a homegrown player now, next year he'll be 21, so he'll have to be registered. So I don't know. There's far too many things to consider. So we'll do when the bid does arrive, and I'm sure it will one day. That's when we'll have to really think about it. Anything else? Any other news?
Not I can think of, mate. I've not had my I've not had my ear to the ground in West Ham. So I've been busy during the international break.
There's nothing happening. There's been nothing happening, to be honest with you. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to do questions that we've had on YouTube and Twitter previous to this show. Then we're going to go to the live chat. Then at the end of the video, we're going to talk a little bit about Hammer's chat. We're going to take a look back at some of the videos we've produced and a couple of other bits and pieces. But we're going to do the questions first. So once we finish the questions, you don't want to hear about the Hammer's chat stuff. You can just
hang up.
Yeah, basically, I don't blame you. You're here for West Ham content, but just make sure you drop a like on the video before you go, please. But anyway, question times. I've got some to come up on the screen if I've done this right. So, Twitter questions first and foremost. It's from George Lewis at George Lewis 97. Does Ogbonna get too much stick compared to Diop? He thinks the former has been miles better this season, and Diop is still shite in the air. Obviously Diop is going to be a better player, but he does have a stinker 1 in every 3 games, and it kind of gets ignored by most.
But people's memories are short. I repeat this every time. Ogbonna gets into the team, he doesn't play well. Ogbonna stays in the team, and Ogbonna produces man of the match performances. You go back to last season, there are times I said it when he came to the team this season. Ogbonna is nowhere near as bad as everybody makes out. He plays for Italy, well, not anymore, but he played for Italy in central defence, played for Juventus in central defence. Clearly he knows how to defend, but when he first comes into the team, he's always a little bit shaky. And I mean, it's no secret. Everybody knows. If you've got a corner, that's the guy you want. That's the guy who's probably going to score from it, or our biggest threat. He knows how to score from a header from a corner. So, yeah, I do think maybe he gets a little bit of stick, but he can be really shaky on his first game back in the team after he's been out for a while. So, yeah, he gets turned quite easily. But yeah, he's a form. He needs a flow. He needs a consistency. He just needs a constant run of games, that continuity of games. He's that type of player. He's in many respects not really particularly well suited to being a squad player. He's not someone that's going to come in on his first game and do a man of the match.
I think he does, and do you know something? I think this channel can sometimes be too harsh on Ogbonna as well, just in general. I'll include myself in that, obviously. Does Ogbonna get too much stick, or does Diop not get enough? I mean, it's slightly different questions, but Diop does get off with quite a lot, though, doesn't he? Ogbonna certainly been our best centre-back this season thus far, and if it wasn't for Masuaku's improved performance, I think we'd all be purring more about Ogbonna's. That's why I gave Ogbonna man of match against Norwich, because I thought, clean sheet, and he's been brilliant this season. So yeah, he does, and we're guilty of it as well. But I do think it's more of a case of Diop just not getting criticised as much / I don't want to say enough, but it is enough sometimes. Sometimes during games he didn't play very well, and people just ignored it rather than mention that he's played bad. And Declan Rice fits into that category as well. I've seen Declan come out, played average, and rather than say Declan played average, everyone just pretends he didn't play. I'll just mention the guys that played well and not mention that Declan didn't play too well. But Hey ho, if that's the way they want to roll, that's the way they want to roll. Next question on Twitter is from T Chambers. If you could sign one realistic signing in January and only one, who would it be? And he says Premiership, but he means Premier League. It's a pet hate of mine, Gonzo. People calling it Premiership. It annoys me. It's Premier League. It's been Premier League for quite a while now as well. Anyway, Premier League, one realistic signing. Who would it be?
Max Aarons.
I was going to say Valerie of Southampton, but I'm tempted to copy you now because I'll stick with my original. I'll say Valerie of Southampton. Both right backs, which is not a coincidence. Twitter number 3, Liam at Liam WHU95. Which stadium in the world do you want to visit the most? Upton Park.
No. It would be the Luzhniki Stadium. Just from an architectural point of view, I think it's a stunner. It's an absolute stunner. It's the closest thing, really, to a modern day Rome Colosseum. Really, it's a stunning place. Yeah, definitely Luzhniki Stadium.
Who plays there?
Luzhniki Rovers. AFC Luzhniki Rovers. Luzhnikenstein Rovers.
But in all seriousness, who plays there? I don't know.
I don't know. But architecture, I mean, go and have a look. People are on Google. Go have a look. Luzhniki Stadium. I don't know how you spell it. How would you spell it? I'm not even going to try. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously I'm not very good with stadium names, so like out with of England, I could name you about 3 from each country, and that's about it. It's a bit like actors and films. You know, when people say to me, "Oh, if I say I've watched a film," they say, "Who's in it?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not very good with actors and stuff. I don't really care. If it's a good film, it's a good film. But anyway, Gonzo's Googling stadium right now, and I'm actually just gonna.
I can't spell it. I can't. This is the thing. I can't spell it.
You need to get.
Oh my goodness.
You need to get like your phone and do the voice thing. Say who plays at the Luzhniki or wherever he's at Luzhniki Stadium.
Honestly, it's like trying to spell pterodactyl.
Is it German?
No, it's Russian. It's Russian.
Oh, St. Petersburg.
Is it? Are you guessing or what? I don't even know if there's a Y or an I at the end. I don't even know. Did I mean? Did you mean Luzhnik? No, I didn't.
Anyway,
telling me I meant Luzhniki.
The live chat will give you the answer in a minute. Someone's already said how you spell it, so he'll come up and tell you. They've now told us it's in Russia. It's coming up.
Yeah, I know it's in Russia.
Someone's going to tell us the mighty MCG. I don't know if that's a team or if he's just promoting something. I'm not sure. But anyway, my one is Dortmund Stadium. I don't know the name. Is it? It's something like the Wolfstadion or something like that.
Yeah.
Dortmund Stadium. That's the one I would love to visit. I would love to visit Dortmund Stadium, and I will one day. It's on the bucket list. I'll get there one day. Twitter number 4, Mark at monkey_hustle69, who you may be seeing on the forum channel recently, doing your shouts. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the viewers.
Well, I'm answering as well.
Okay. Do we need to line up a long-term replacement for Mr. West Ham Martin Noble? Or do you think he will still be an essential part of the squad for another 2-3 years?
No, but I mean, you can just copy and paste what I said about Declan Rice and having a leader and having a presence and blah blah blah, all of that stuff. So that remains. Actually, that remains whether he's a squad player or not. I do think, old Father Time catches up with all of us, and I would expect him to play less as time goes on. Do we need to replace him right now? I think if you replaced him right now, then you might end up booting him out of the team. And I do think he still has a lot to offer West Ham. I mean, what's he, 32 now?
Yeah.
He's not 35, is he? So I mean, he's got. I'd like to think by the time Martin Noble will still be with West Ham when he's 35, maybe he'll be making substitutes appearances and 10 starts in the league or something like that. But I mean, you've got to focus on who you want. I would be very surprised if Huselos, Pellegrini didn't have a dossier of players they have earmarked to take Mark Noble's role. I actually do think that it's meant to be Jack. Well, it was meant to be Jack Wilshere, but I think the earlier form in the season with Wilshere, and then the bang and the fizz with which Noble came back into the team has probably stopped that little experiment, and Noble finds himself back in the team. Not for the first time. I mean, Mark Noble has seen off a lot of players and a lot of managers in his time, and new managers come in and new players come, and Mark Noble still finds himself in the team, which is why he's played as many games as he has.
I think we do need to find a replacement for him. So as soon as the coming summer, I think it's got to be a priority position, and any others that we feel need replacing, perhaps right back. Because we've got the striker, we've got the attacking midfielders, we've got the goalkeeper for another year, we've got the centre backs. We're just now patching up around that. And I suppose Gonzo makes a point about you need to replace his leadership on the pitch when he's not there, because you know it's a big difference when he's not on the pitch in terms of organisation and responsibility and accountability and stuff. You notice all that, and the fact is that we've had so many captains this season. We've had 4 captains already, so minus Mark, we've had 3 captains already. Shows that Pellegrini isn't 100% sure either that or he's got his rankings of captains all wrong. But we'll have to replace Mark this summer, because Carlos Sanchez, whether you like him or not, his contract's up and you have to assume he's not going to get a new one. So we need a centre midfielder anyway, and I think that bench space for centre mid becomes Mark's almost, like in an ideal world. And you know something, I still believe this. I still think that's what Mark wants as well. Because at the end of the season, he said we need to buy younger players, we need to get some legs. And why else would he say that if he didn't? Like, why? He's basically touting his own position. And James Collins, one of Mark Noble's best friends, when Pellegrini came in, James Collins said, I don't know if Mark Noble's going to cope in this Pellegrini side and stuff. I mean, that's his best mate. He's not hanging him out to dry. For Collins to say that, I can only assume he's had a conversation with Mark, his friends, and Mark's maybe said something to James like, I don't know, much longer I can keep going to the top or something. And I think James is almost like protecting Mark Noble in advance. If he struggles, don't be surprised, because he's getting on a bit. So I think that's got to be the role, that Mark's got to get him out the team, not because of bad performances or that, but because of the longer term project. He's got a year and a half left of his contract, Mark. So as far as it stands, he's only got a year and a half to go. Moving on to some that we got on YouTube prior to the show going live. Ben Davies, do you think Peaky Blinders has ruined wearing flat caps for people? Anytime you have one on, someone says, "Oh, you watch Peaky Blinders." He does his head in. No, I've got to say that hadn't really occurred to me. I see plenty of people on match days with black caps on, and I never think they look like Peaky Blinders, but that's largely because I've been seeing people wearing flat caps for a long, long time before Peaky Blinders was even a twinkle in whatever his name is. What's the writer's name? Stephen? I can't remember. Anyway, before it was even a twinkle in his eye. I can only imagine they're very young, the people that say. Who said that, Ben? Yeah.
I can only imagine that they're very young, the people saying that to Ben. Wear your cap with pride. Don't put a razor blade in it. And pay no attention to what anyone else says. That would be my suggestion.
I would ask what Peaky Blinders is. Do you know what you're wearing it? So I said, "Oh, you watch Peaky Blinders?" I go, "Watch what?" Just so then they look like they do, and they've got to explain that's a show where a lot of people wear the caps and stuff. Then just go, "Nah, never watched it, mate. Don't know what you're on about." Because then they end up feeling a bit silly, don't they?
Yeah.
So, and then next time they see another flat cap wearer, they might not make that comment again. So flat cap wearers need to unite against those accusations. But sorry, Ben, it's the same for me as well. If I see someone wearing it, I don't think they watch Peaky Blinders. But if I see someone wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt, I'd probably think, they probably watch Doctor Who. So, I don't know, maybe. YouTube number 2, let's get on the screen. Harley Kelly. Harley says, do you think Alier will score more than 20 goals this season? No.
Not Premier League goals. So maybe if we have a cup run and all the planets align, God's grace, the fair winds, he may well get 20, but not league goals. I think I did for someone or other. I think I predicted that he would get 14 Premier League goals.
Not for me. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying he's not good enough. He is good enough. It's just unusual for not that many players score more than 20 league goals or 20 goals a season. The last one I've got saved, then I've got some on my phone screenshotted. Mr. Pete Hammer, your thoughts on West Ham? Well, this is for you, I think. Your thoughts on West Ham and all the fan media sites. Can you imagine a time where they would embrace and allow access, or are you guys always going to be treated badly by the club?
Oh well, I mean,
this is your fault.
I can assure you that there is going to be no access. I can assure you, I have had it confirmed and reaffirmed, and very very recently, that there will be no access. Somebody would have to. There is a position in the club media department that would need to change before it became more friendly. Let's say it seemed to be going that way for a little time. There were there were some people there, but they've moved on to bigger and better things, and it's difficult. I think it's difficult for anyone now, but it's cool. We crack on and we carry on. We do our stuff, and we look at the videos that Geo's been. I was going to say pimping out.
I don't mind that. We can go with that.
Look at the videos that Geo's been pimping out. We do other stuff. We do other things, and we carry on, and we know what we're going to carry on. Just doing West Ham content, and maybe somewhere along the line we'll talk about other things like flat caps and biscuits and Netflix and stuff like that. So it's no big thing. And do you know what? The funny thing is, if they get this Wi-Fi sorted out anyway, then the stadium-wide Wi-Fi, then the world's a happy place anyway.
Everyone will be on Wi-Fi. You'd actually be better off to stay on your phone, because everybody else will be connected to Wi-Fi, so then your phone signal will become faster. As for his question of that, I'm not overly fussed by it. Listen, if someone said to me, do you want to interview Mark Noble, I'd bite your arm off. I would love to go and do stuff like that. But when I'm trying to think of what we can do with Hammer's Chat and where we want to go and stuff, it never pops into my head, oh, we must get media access, or I hope we get media access. That doesn't come into play. We're cracking on without it. It doesn't bother me too. The other reason it doesn't bother me is because it's a bit weird, but like, we got one Crystal Palace, West Ham. Who did West Ham play? Arsenal? No, we played Arsenal. It was 3-3. Andy Carroll got his hat-trick. Right, we had the media pass. So me and Gonzo went in the press room after for the press conferences of the managers. And Gonzo was doing his videoing. I don't do any videoing that, so I was just sort of standing there. But we were at the back of the room, because obviously we're small fry. Sky Sports and that they've got podiums for their cameras. We were behind them trying to look over the people and the thing. But the thing is, I'm hard of hearing. Some know, some don't know. I'm hard of hearing that. I could hear fuck all that was going on. So for me, it's very pointless being in the room when I can't hear what they're saying. So I was like,
Bilic was so quiet.
Yeah,
he is the most softly spoken man. It's unbelievable, actually. You've really found yourself turning the mic up.
I couldn't hear a thing, and I was actually at the point where I thought I want to leave, but because he's so quiet and the room's so quiet, I couldn't even scuffle along because everybody would hear me scuffling. So I just had to stand there for about 15 minutes, just like looking at Gonzo's camera, making sure it's turned on and working okay. But once you've done that about 5 times, there's not much else you can do. So I don't know, I just stood in the room walking around. It's a bit pointless for me, but it doesn't bother me too much. That's all the questions I've got saved as images, but I've got a few more that I've screenshotted. Simon Burgess on Twitter at BudgeFet. What is the estimated completion date of your man cave?
Oh, I've had a good day today. Did you see? Maybe you saw I posted a picture on Twitter. I was exhausted actually from it. I don't want to put a date on it.
2019.
2019.
Yeah,
I've got to be in there before winter. But it's going really, really well. But it is money. It's money at the moment and time. I'll tell you what. My mate asked me last night. I really have I've got 5 more solid days. Should have it completed. But when I say that's 5 sets of 8-9 hours. I can never do 9 hours, so it's actually going to take longer than that. And about 600 quid. Those are the things I need. However many. I need to put. I need to put a good 40 hours into it, and about 500 quid, and that will see it finished. So, both of those things have to happen. But it's been an exciting day today. I'm looking forward to it. It feels close at the moment.
Happy days. Well, it's not that close, I'm afraid to tell you. It's quite a while off. You've just told me it's not. It's just quite a while off. West Ham USA says, having watched the Switzerland match against Gibraltar, Ayeti was physical in the box and a handful for defenders. Do you think we will see much more of him in the English Premier League matches this calendar year? I think he means 2019 then, if he says this calendar year.
I think that's Scott. I think that's
Scott, yeah.
He's got far too much time on his hands if he's watching Switzerland play Gibraltar.
Scouting, it's important. Leave it out.
Okay.
I respect someone that does that. I mean, I watched Czech Republic play Kosovo, so...
Yeah, I mean, I can't do that stuff and get the man cave finish, you understand. Sorry, what was Scott's question?
Will Ayeti play games? I mean, he has to, right?
Yes.
There's no other option. If Allaire don't play, he plays. Allaire needs to come off, he goes on. We're losing, he goes on. So I think he'll get plenty of game time. Oxford, he'll start against Oxford, which is only a week away. So yeah, you'll get plenty of time. The fat American, the bearded something. It looks like Charlie.
Charlie's long lost brother.
Yeah, he looks like the American Charlie. That's incredible. Anyway, it took several games. I've zoomed in now. It took several games for Anderson to bed in last season, and he was playing every minute. How long do you think Fornals needs, especially he's getting limited playing time?
I don't know. It's going to be difficult for him because he has, and when I say he, I mean Anderson has the attributes to acclimatise to the Premier League, which is pace. If things aren't going well, he can still run fast and he can still go direct. You could also suggest that Anderson could play in a number of positions. So there was a point last season when Pellegrini switched his system as well. Well, that's fine as well. I think for Fornals to thrive, things have got to be just so. He's slow. Let's be frank about this. He's quite a slow player. So he's very, very technique based. So you're going to have to get him the ball well. You're going to have to make sure positionally he's correct. I don't know is the answer. I really like him. I think he's technically really good. I'm not entirely convinced it's going to work out for him, if the truth be known. I'm worried that he might be one of those players who are just better suited to continental leagues. Worried how he'll fit into the hustle and bustle of the Premier League. But there is a player there. There's a very good player there if we can get into him. But if what you want me to say is I think Fornals will be settled in the Premier League in 10 games or 15 games, I couldn't say any of that with any sort of assurance at all.
Given the season, that's what I always say. A season, I think that's a fair. I think you've just got to give him. As for limited playing time, that massively depends on him. If he comes on against Villa and sets up a goal, looks unreal, there's a good chance he'll start the next game against Man United. Or if he doesn't, he comes on again and influences the game. Pellegrini's going to have to start him. He will get opportunities. At the minute, he's Pellegrini's first substitute on Monday night, I think. Whatever it is, if we're winning, he brings him on to keep the ball. We're losing, he brings him on to create. We're drawing, he brings him on to try and change the game. Fornals is his first sub, so he's gonna get loads of opportunities. And if he takes them, he will start the next game. It's as simple as that. Pellegrini needs Fornals to be a success because he wants money next summer. In order to get money, who you've just bought has to justify the expenditure. That's Allaire. And Fornals, that's all it is. Ayeti, Cardoso will be written off because they were much cheaper, smaller purchases for the future type buys. Fornals and Allaire is very much for this season, the then and now, and he's got to prove that. West Ham for life. Will you do any vlogs again this season?
Probably not.
Boo!
Probably not.
Boo!
Probably not. No. No, I've got to say I've had no. There's two reasons. I'll be perfectly blunt and frank with it. It's hard. It is really hard on the. It's a big edit, a massive edit. It usually takes about 4 hours to do all the editing and to get it uploaded and to do that because we film lots of different scenes, and I am already absolutely stretched beyond expectation. My wife is very, very reasonable. My family reasonable, and if I go to a game, I'm away from home for all that Saturday. It's unfair. I miss a lot of family stuff. It's unfair if I then come home and I am basically sat by the laptop for half of a Sunday as well. The other reason as well, I've got to be honest with you, I started getting just a little bit too much stick for it. Little bit too much abuse, few too many nasty comments. I mean, funny enough, I had a comment. I wasn't going to say this actually, but it's come up in the subject. I had a comment. Funny enough, when I did that video about the media department and all the rest of it, Geo knows this, but I can't. I'm going to say it anyway. I had a comment saying, I know where you sit, and I know you sit next to your son, and you better watch yourself when you're at games. Not the first time I've had comments like that either, and I always seem to get 2 or 3 fruity comments when I do vlogs as well. And I know you shouldn't let it bother you, but I can't be bothered with it, to be honest with you. There's too many reasons not to do it, and and not enough reasons to do it, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. And the grief you do get, not just you personally, but just in general from doing YouTube videos and stuff, is, I don't want to say it goes unnoticed, but I think it does go unnoticed because people watch a video, they don't necessarily check the comments, and sometimes we delete the comments because they are personal attacks, so we delete them. We think, well, why would you allow someone to why would you allow someone a platform to, if someone leaves a comment saying don't necessarily agree with you, well, that's fine. We leave that. You can go check all the other videos; they're still there. But if someone leaves a comment going, "I know where you sit," I mean, we're going to delete it. And why would we leave a threat? And why would we give someone oxygen to voice that threat? So people just don't see stuff like that. It's a bit of a shame, because I do think it spoils it for everybody else. I do enjoy the vlogs personally. I think it spoils it for everyone. Peter Wood. Would Shaka Hislop be in the West Ham goalkeepers top 10, and if so, where? I mean, he is for me because I've not seen anyone. Shaka was sort of like the first keeper I really noticed when I understood football. Ludo was before my time a little bit. I've seen him play, but not when I understood football. So he's in there by default almost. I would have him behind Fabianski. Oh, probably just behind Robert Green. So third for me, I think, unless I'm missing someone.
I mean, we've been very lucky at West Ham. Well, not just luck, is it? Praise whoever's brought the keepers in. From Phil Parks to Ludo. David James was a good keeper. Robert Green was obviously really good. Hislop, of course. We've been very, very lucky. Very lucky. I don't know where Hislop would fit in terms of that. I don't ever feel that I know very much about goalkeeping. I think I don't really notice when a keeper's. I always almost forget if a keeper's had man in a match. It's all, like when we're doing a review, Geo, and then I might be thinking, whatever, I don't know, whatever. I'm thinking Mark Noble's man in a match or something, and then when we're doing the summary at the end. And then either you or Charlie will talk about the keeper. And I think, oh yeah, cool. Sorry, the keeper. Like, well, I'm guilty of forgetting the keeper. I don't think I pay too much attention when they command crosses. I don't think I really understand what they do. Obviously, catch the ball clearly, obviously. But even I think with distribution, sometimes I need it pointed out to me. I just don't feel like I notice or assess goalkeepers very well at all. So I'm probably not the man to do it. But I do know we've had some really, really good ones, and Hislop was up there. He was a bit inconsistent, to be fair to him, but he was remarkably athletic as well. And when he was having a man in a match performance, he was absolutely brilliant. Sorry, not a great answer, is it? But yeah.
Charlie Date asks what website I use to analyse player and match stats. Start with Who Scored. I've got about 8 or 10, but whoscored.com is the best one you can go to. So check that out, and you should be alright. Last question before we take one or two from the live chat, and then we'll move on to Hammer's chat topics. James Gunn, what do you do if you see an endangered animal eating an endangered plant?
I'd probably just leave well alone. I've got to be honest with you. I said I don't know much about goalkeepers. I know even less about endangered plants. So I don't think I would notice that it was the I don't know, the last shamrock in Ireland or whatever it may be being eaten by a dodo. Actually, dodo's already extinct. That would be something, wouldn't it, to see a dodo in Ireland eating the last ever shamrock? And not something you're going to see.
Would you know it's a dodo though?
I would know a dodo if I saw one. Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you would. I think you'd doubt yourself pretty quick. Because it's a dodo. Well, it can't be a dodo, can it? So it's not a dodo.
Well, yeah, I would, but I know what a dodo looks. I've spent a considerable amount of time in Mauritius as well, which is that's Dodo Central, Mauritius. So yeah, I've got it pictured in my mind. It's a ground dwelling bird. It's a flightless bird, fat, big, long, hooked beak.
Like shamrocks.
Allegedly.
Like shamrocks. I would leave it because you can. What's the word I'm looking for? If you take a cutting from a plant, you can grow that plant again. So what's the I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. You grow more essentially. Just when you would slice the animal's leg off and put it in some rooting compound and grow another animal. I think so. Yeah, but you can do that with any plant. You can go out if you've got a tree in your back garden. Go to your tree tomorrow, cut a branch off, stick it in the ground, give it a year. You have another tree exactly the same growing in your garden. Just stick it in. There's no magic to it. Done. So you can't do that with an animal, can you? You can't reproduce an animal. Well, not legally.
And you can't reproduce with an animal.
Well, allegedly. But the plants you can't. So I would leave it, but I would take a cut in pretty quickly. But like live chat, any questions, whack them in. John Italiano 1985. What book is a must read for a West Ham fan?
Well, just the classic Irrational Hatred of Luton, but would be the one really. I think.
Steve Bacon's is a good read. I've not read many West Ham ones, you know. I've seen them pop up and people say, "Oh, this one, that one." I don't really bother with it. I don't know why. It's never really made me think. I think it's because I know enough.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think why would I want to read someone tell me what I already know? I'd much rather read. I like reading autobiographies of ex-footballers and managers because I don't know. Like, Michael Owen's has just come out, hasn't it? I mean, that's got a little bit of controversy surrounding it. Michael Owen's one that's just come out. I might read that because I don't know what he's got to say. Whereas if, I don't know, you brought out a book by Time Support West Ham, I think, well, I already know what it says, don't I? Buddy, 10-0, first game, okay.
You wouldn't read my book? I'll give you a signed. You don't pay for it. I'll give you a signed copy.
I would tell you I've read it, but I wouldn't read it.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers.
Because I think I'd be able to. I'd also give you a 5-star review on like Amazon and stuff.
Thank you. It's kind.
Boost you up, and I'd mention it in videos. You know, help you.
Absolutely, promote the book. Yeah, it's in the comments section below and all that. The link to Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, I would do all the supporter stuff. I mean, I might read it on my bus to London. I've got quite a lot of hours to kill. I might give you one.
But it's a long book, to be fair.
Yeah, so I might do. Right, so let's get some questions in. Charlie, Beardy Charlie, or Charlie, not the American Charlie, says, would you rather be incredibly successful but everybody hates you, or have little success but everybody likes you?
When you say successful, does he mean stinking? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think he means rich.
Look, I've got to be honest with you. If I'm that rich, I'm on my yacht on my islands. I don't care. I'm there with me leopard print speedos on, swimming around, getting out, cocktail.
Dodo.
20 ladies, trying to reproduce with the dodo, of course.
Eating the last shamrock because you can buy it.
A shamrock cocktail. Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I wouldn't care. And then the butler says, Mr. Gonzo, I'm afraid you're not very popular. And I was like, I don't care.
Charlie, I don't care right now. Go away. Get back to video editing.
Would you like to retire to your quarters, sir? Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'm minted.
Yeah. Not that many people like me anyway, and I'm not successful, so
You take the cash.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to befriend my 5 friends in order for the money. It's not a big deal to me. I'll just buy more. I say, do you want to be my friend? Not really. £1 million? Yeah, I could be your friend. Yeah, so plenty of
you can buy friends, undoubtedly.
Yeah, I mean, look at Wayne Lineker. His mates are all bought, aren't they? They're not his real mates.
Did you see that picture of him with the girls and they're all pulling faces?
Yeah, but you know something? That annoys me a little bit because before that, let's just be honest, they would have been offering, I don't want to say they were offering sexual favours, but they would have been hinting towards it probably. Done the photo, get the retweets and stuff. But I bet as soon as that photo was taken, they would have been giving them kisses, trying to get some vodka.
He got the sexual favours, didn't he?
Yeah. So, you know something, fair enough, your photos was funny, but who's got the last laugh? It's not you with your 2,000 retweets. It did well. He's
lucky, really. I'm having to shag a bird that's been extinct for 200 years.
What's worse is your wife can hear what you say right now because of your head.
I don't mean her.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, she can only hear what you're saying. So she can't get the context of what you just said there.
She doesn't care. She ignores me. I don't even think she used to. When we first started doing this, she used to watch videos. She used to be interested. She doesn't care anymore. She's not interested.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really blame her, to be honest. Until you're successful, then she might care.
Oh yeah, well, she won't be there. I'll be. It's that that old joke, isn't it, about what's the joke? It's about bloke goes home and he says to his wife, love, we've won the lottery, pack your bags. Oh, fantastic. What do I want? Hot stuff, coals up, scarves, bikinis, whatever. No, just hurry up, pack your bags. What do we need? What do I need to take away? I don't care, just pack your bags and fuck off. I've won the lottery. So yeah, it's that one, isn't it?
Christopher, if you won 140 million in tomorrow's Euros, would you invest any into West Ham just so you can be at the board meetings? Just shout at them. I would invest it to be in the meetings, and do you know something? They would hate me. I would just go in and be like, you wouldn't care, would you? And then I would also tell everybody what was said in the board meetings as well. I would be like, ex-West Ham employee, but without the X. I'd be like, current West Ham board member. I'd be banging out tweets all the time. You know, Alier's on his way over, lads. Everybody, I'm like, yeah. People would say, stop doing that. You're not helping. I say, yeah, I've got 100,000 followers, mate. I've just taken a picture.
Yeah, boost the old account.
Yeah, I've just taken a picture of Wayne Lineker going, so I could get some retweets.
You could buy them. I know someone that bought 10,000 Twitter followers. A West Ham one. You know, I'll tell you.
Who?
I'll tell you afterwards.
Oh, come on.
I'm not doing that. I wouldn't want to embarrass him.
Bottled it.
But they bought.
Who do you not want to embarrass?
The person that did it.
What person? What person? The person behind the account.
The person's Twitter account.
Yeah.
Who purchased the Twitter followers. I wouldn't want to embarrass them.
Who?
But there were 10,000 and then they were gone pretty quickly after, but it was quite clear they were bots because apparently you can do it. You can buy.
I think I know who you're talking about anyway. I mean, it's not Hammer's Chat because we've only got 11,000. So
yeah, we've buy a lot.
Pretty crap. If we bought 10,000, only got 11,000. We're doing pretty crap, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no. It was more than 10. There was an instant boost.
Sack the Hammer's Chat Twitter.
Canning Town Len knows. It wasn't Canning Town Len because he's hardly got any followers. He's got about 4.
I've missed quite a few questions. It's too quick. Harry Pierce, would you take West Ham win the League Cup, but the man cave collapses?
Oh, Harry!
Yeah, Gonzo. Harry. Do you know something? I might read your book for this chapter.
Oh, Harry. Yeah, it can be rebuilt, Harry. What sort of level of collapse are we talking here? Yeah, I probably would.
GoFundMe. You need a GoFundMe.
Yeah, they probably would. If it was part of it, and that was the thing, we can only win the League Cup if Gonzo's man cave. You're probably right. Everybody probably would chip in and just say, just knock it down, mate, and we shall rebuild it. Everyone come round, we'll have a day. We'll make sandwiches, and everyone comes and you know.
Hammer's Chat SOS.
Yeah, yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
Please,
we've got a Charlie, you know, a Charlie Dimmock, haven't we?
Yeah, quite.
Is that the one I was ground false, isn't it?
I think so. I'm trying to keep up with these. Right, we'll take a couple more because I want to talk about the Hammer's Chat stuff, but we've been chatting for a while. Someone said, what would the name of your book be? Kevin says, what would the name of your book be?
Dodos and dildos, probably.
Jesus Christ. What would it genuinely be?
I don't know, something ridiculously self-indulgent and
Being Gonzo.
egocentric. It has to be, doesn't it? If you, crikey, there's no point if you're going to write a book about yourself. There's probably no point in trying to be modest at that point, is there? You're already on a massive flaming ego trip, aren't you? The fact that you're deciding to tell everyone about yourself. So it's all about me or something. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? I'd never write a book, would I? But there you go. I do think it's important that if you are going to write a book, you write a bloody book, by the way. Not like, what's her name? Old Jordan, with the old, Jordan. Doesn't write her book or whatever, to get a ghostwriter. There's no point. If you're going to write a book, make it personal,
Quite, I agree with that one. Jazza says, would you rather suddenly become as tall as David Sullivan or only be able to speak in David Gold tweets for the rest of your life? See, that's unfair for you because you're about the same height as Sullivan.
I am about the same height as David Sullivan, that's right. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. DG.
I don't mind. I don't mind the way David Gold tweets, to be honest with you. I think it's quite clever. I think he's got a very good balance of banter and information. Actually, I think he understands Twitter. I think he gets it. I think he's good at it. And then, when he did that in-betweener thing, he wished the in-betweener. Someone said, "Oh, my nephew," or whatever. Like, I think he knew damn well fine who it was. That was in-betweeners. I think he thought, I've got a banger here, lads. He's probably saying to his PA, "Watch this." They think I don't know who it is. Watch this. Then look how much retweets I've got.
He's a good guy. I think he's a good people person, actually. That's his part of the deal with the duet. That's his part of the song. Funny enough, on the In-Betweeners, I started watching. I know it's quite old, but I've just started watching Friday Night Dinner. That's got a geezer from the In-Betweeners in it. That's quite good.
Yeah, it's all right. I watched it. I would say it's good.
Yeah. It's not Blackadder or any balls and horses, but yeah, it's decent enough. I like the next door neighbour, Jim.
See, he annoyed me. I liked Martin. I liked Martin.
Yeah, he's good. Always got his top off, and yeah,
I liked Martin.
I don't like it because he's always got his top off. I probably should say that now. I'm more into dodos than bare-chested men.
Anyway, we're now going to move on to a bit of Hammer's chat. So if you don't want to listen to that and you've thought West Ham stuff's finished, there's not been much West Ham stuff in the last 5 minutes, to be fair. Apologies.
It's been a very sparse show.
Apologies for that. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you're around here if you're going to disappear. But if you're still sticking around, we're talking about Hammer's chat stuff. Gonzo, we've done some different content in the last week or so. Charlie's video, did you enjoy that?
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed Charlie's video. It gave me a really, really nice opportunity, actually, to obviously having done the foreword to it, and it made me troll through the old laptop, which is always an experience, as anybody with an old laptop will know.
If you stop looking,
absolutely, stop looking for your old photos in there. There's a shock. But it was really nice. I found some really nice old photos, some lovely memories of all the times that Charlie, well, not all of them, I wasn't there for all of them, but the times I was present that Charlie was talking about. I've got so many old photos of Upton Park, and so much stuff behind the scenes. It's been a real treat, and I think he came across really well, and he makes you think of it, doesn't it? As well, you start thinking of your times, and we've had quite a roller coaster, Geo. Really, actually, not roller coasters. Suggests there's been loads of downs. No. I mean, it's mostly been up, hasn't it? Really,
adventures.
It's been an adventure. Yeah, it's been really good, and it was nice. I thought Charlie came across well. Got some good stories. It's amazing, isn't it? Amazing to have those stories to tell. Yeah, I liked it.
The reason we've done that is because A, it was International Week and we needed something a little bit different. B, it's the type of thing that I want us to do a little bit more of, because people always, whenever people see us in the boats and stuff, they always refer to this video, this series as a cup of tea. They always say, "Oh, I love the cup of tea and stuff," and it's got a bit of personality. So I thought, well, let's try and extract a bit more personality. And it's a bit difficult when you're only talking about West Ham, because I think a lot of people might have seen Charlie in a slightly different light in that video than they have done, because when he comes on and we get beat by whoever, he's only going to talk negatively about West Ham players, doesn't he? Or if we ask him about Antonio, we know what the answer is going to be. So I think it was good to see him in the humorous side that he does actually have. But we're coming up to our 5-year anniversary, as Gonzo said at the start of that video. It's still a couple of months away, so this was like a tester. I made Charlie do this video in Asper's Casino. I sat him down and said, "You're doing this." So he did it. And we're going to do some more of these in the build up to our 5-year thing. So if you've got any suggestions, whack it in the comments below. Not the live chat, because I'll forget. Put it in the comment below and we'll get to it. The Declan Rice video was a bit different. It went down relatively well, but there were some people misunderstood it, because a lot of people said, "Oh, he's not overrated." I thought, well, that's not really the question. The question is, do West Ham fans overrate him? And also, we stitched the video up a little bit, myself and Charlie. We actually probably should put a disclaimer in there, because the video was actually filmed prior to his game against Bulgaria. So all those clips we got were before he played for England. And the way I can prove it is if you go watch our quiz at the start in the intro, which went up Saturday morning. I said we've got 2 videos coming up that are different. One of them was obviously the Declan Rice one. So people said that in before he had that social media fallout thing. But did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a hell of an edit there, actually, from Charlie. Put my edit to shame. I edited Charlie's video. Which was right. It was right for Charlie not to edit his own video, because it, was able to put the pictures in there. But the really good edit, which the Declan Rice one, was what Charlie did, which was absolutely magnificent. But I actually thought it was a really, really good concept to get other fans. And you cannot underestimate how horrendously difficult it is to get people to send videos in. I mean, it's we've been doing Your Shout. The Your Shout is open. We have an open forum. Anyone can send us videos. But, I mean, we get very, very few. So to actually get, and that's from West Ham fans, to get 4 or 5 opposition fans to send in videos is really good. And I do think it mixes it up a bit, gives it a different perspective. It's always hard, Geo, it's always hard to come up with new ideas, and we're always trying, because you got to move on, because you'll have an idea, and then all of a sudden there are so many West Ham channels, and all of a sudden everyone's producing the same sort of video, so then you've got to try and move it on and do something different, and obviously keep the favourites, keep your cup of tea, and you obviously clearly you've got to have a preview and a review and all the rest of it. And people talk about vlogs earlier. There's a number of people doing vlogs. You want to vlog, there's a lot of vlogs out there now. Lots of people will film themselves going to the game. So, it's always good to come up with the words content, isn't it? New content and new things, and we'll continue to do so, won't we, Gia?
Yeah, we'll do our best anyway, but it's something I came up with, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I said to Gonzo and Charlie, I want to do this, and it was difficult to get people to send clips in of other fans. And to be fair, someone left a comment saying, "Oh, I noticed there wasn't a Spurs one," but to be fair to the guy, I asked someone from a Spurs podcast, and he said, "I've not seen enough of Declan Rice." He said, "I can't comment," and he wasn't the only one. The Southampton one and the Burnley one said the same. "I don't see enough of Declan Rice, so I can't give you a proper thing," which I think is the best thing to do if you can't give one. So we did our best, and I thought it was a good video, and I thought the people commenting about Rice were fair as well, even the ones that said you do overrate him. However, you should do. He's your player. You need to support him like that. And I thought that was interesting, because, to be honest with you, I hadn't considered it that way before to an extent. It's almost too black and white sometimes the way I look at it. But I don't really think anybody overrates anyone, if that makes sense. Like, I'll never criticise, as you know, I'll never criticise Newcastle fans for rating Sean Longstaff and stuff, because I think they watch him every week, so they know. That's the way it is. We did the quiz. That went down okay. I was pleased with that, Gonzo, because I wanted to do a quiz for about 2 years. We tried one about 2 years ago, but we weren't happy with the way it came out. Yeah. So we just binned it. It's gone. But we've done this one. It went down reasonably well. That's a different concept. West Ham Fan TV have their end of season quiz, but nobody does like general quizzes. And I want to get more people involved. You're watching this, wanting to do the quiz, let us know, because you can't come and do the quiz. But it went down all right. Did you watch the quiz back? Well, you were
I
there
was,
that
I was,
day.
I was there. I was
Yeah,
there.
you were there that
They're
day.
working the cameras and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, there's actually, I'm not going to say. I'll tell you because otherwise I say the video I did, and you know what's going to happen. But
Pinched.
yeah, well, naturally. But actually, I do. No, I'm not even going to say it. But yeah, there's some other things. But yes, lovely quiz. Somebody did message me and say, oh, actually, I'm gonna grass him up. The Pocky Punk messaged me. I said, Gonzo, what was the team name? You know, the team name in the quiz.
Yeah. Do you know something? It's not that bad. It's funny. The reason we can't use it is because if YouTube pick it up as what it could be, our channel could get not a copyright strike, but it could get like a black mark against it because on YouTube it's sort of frowned upon to push political stances, and the name had a slight political twist to it, if you like. And if you were to use that, if YouTube's audio pick it up wrong or whatever, it's just not worth the hassle. But it was funny. If you were there, it was funny. We all laughed. It was funny. You could maybe spell it out for them. That would dodge the. That would dodge the.
Well,
YouTube.
I said to him, I said, I don't remember, mate. I mean, listen. By the time we'd finished filming it, I think I'd had 3 pints by that point. And and even I left it rolling. I think I started walking around Stratford trying to find a pub with a pinball machine as well. So it was yeah, I couldn't remember.
It was the first word was quiz, and then the second word. If you think of ISIS, hopefully that doesn't get picked up. But he changed it to quiz. Okay, so yeah, so it was funny. It was funny. We've also done the Ashton and Jarvis interviews in the past. You know something? The reason I want to mention this is because, well, I was going to say Jarvis clearly felt like he never got a chance at West Ham, did he? But I think that's the interview's gone now. But what I picked up from the Ashton and Jarvis one, and sometimes we forget, and this is why I got irked about the Declan Rice thing after doing the Ashton thing, and I watched it back. They're still human. I think sometimes we forget footballers are human. You could see that Dean Ashton was upset about having to not play football. You seen Jarvis's one. You could almost sense the frustration about him not getting to play football, and it's when he said about how when he was injured he couldn't go out for dinner in case someone's seen him. Says, oh, hang on, you're injured and you're out for dinner, what are you doing? And he felt confined to stay indoors. I thought, bloody hell, that's a bit rough, isn't it? And then Ashton was talking about what he can and can't do, and the Declan Rice thing comes about, and I don't know, that's what I took from those interviews, that they are still human. And I think sometimes that we forget that despite their big wage packet, they've still got emotions and feelings, and out at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, I think everybody enjoyed those interviews, Gio. Everybody. Well, actually, everybody apart from 2 people. But yeah,
it went up. It went up to about 4 or 5.
Oh, 4 people disliked that. Do you know what? It's something about YouTube as well, right? So, for instance, I was watching. It's like if you click on a song, right? So the other day, right, my daughter started getting into musicals, right? So she was on YouTube. Can you play me this song from this musical and blah blah blah. Anyway, so one of them was a musical called Phantom of the Opera, right? And there was one thing. It's Michael Crawford singing one of the tunes from Phantom of the Opera. So I clicked on it. Now the only reason you are going to click on that video is if you want to hear Michael Crawford singing this song Phantom of the Opera. So clearly, if you want to do it, and I looked at it, and it has, you know, the same thing again, 10 thumbs down. What do you mean 10 thumbs down? What were you expecting? The A-Team or something? I don't know what. Why were you disappointed? It was exactly what it said on the tin. And I don't know why you'd click on a Dean Ashton video, which I'm guessing that at some point you've taken a decision that it says Dean Ashton interview, and you've clicked on it, so you know what you're getting, right? Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? You think, damn, I was expecting Game of Thrones. But so you've clicked on the Dean Ashton interview, and it's a good interview, heartfelt, honest. Nah, not for me.
Well, the thing is, I don't care. I'm going to say this. We know who at least 2 of them were. We know who they were. I'm not going to say who they were. I can't be arsed, but we know who they were. I know who they were. You know who they were. if you read the comments, Ryan Archer knows who they were as well. And it's not West Ham fan TV4. People think Ryan's alluding to it being him and Nicky, for example. It's not them. So Ryan left a comment in the comments saying, why is 5 people dislike this with that emoji going like that? And he's alluded to it as well. So we know who they are, and it's just, it doesn't bother me because, do you know something? If I had no thumbs down, I'd be disappointed because it means they've not watched it yet. so because it's got thumbs down, I think, oh well, at least I've clicked on and watched it. I mean, hello, glad to see you come along and watched it. So it's just the way it is. It's the same when we do like a video on West Ham women. They get thumbs down pretty quick. I think me and Charlie put our one up, and it had 4 dislikes in an hour. And the thing is, there's 2 dislikes up after about a minute, and I thought, considering the video is 6 minutes long, it's physically impossible for you to have watched a quarter of the video at this point.
I did, as you know, I did a live with Gonzo on a forum channel last week, and I said to you, even before I gone live, I said, look, Geo, it's getting thumbs down already. So no one had watched the video. It was obviously clearly, boom, Gonzo. No, we don't want any of this. But yeah, it's a funny. I don't mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
I must say actually, because I don't have the chat open on this, because as people will know,
I do. They're all giving you the thumbs down right now.
Oh, cool. All right, so good. Dilton sent me a very nice message about what I said earlier about the vlogs and all the rest of it. But on Twitter, but this, because we're still struggling with this software. If I open the live chat while we're doing this, well, you might like it. I'll disappear from the screen again, and we'll get that big Skype sign. So that's why I'm limited. I'm very, very limited in my bandwidth at the moment.
Anyway, we'll start wrapping. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Can't think, mate. Can't think really. No, I don't think so.
Anyway, we're trying to plan a few things because Hamish Chat will be 5 years old in a couple of months. So stick with us. If there's any content you want to see which is similar to what we did with Charlie, non-West Ham but more Hamish Chat, let us know in the comments, because I will come back and read them. And some of our videos we've done in the past has been your ideas. You know, when me and Gonzo did our best West Ham 11, that was what someone said to do that video, and I thought that's a good idea. I'm having it. Thank you for that suggestion. So you guys watch us, and you guys will be probably the best people to know what you want to watch, if that makes sense. You know, if Tesco were to do market research, the best people to ask is the people that's coming in their front door, say what is it that you like here or you don't like here. So you guys let us know. Anyway, we've got the Aston Villa preview tomorrow night, which is Friday night. So if you listen to this after Friday night, it's already on the channel. We'll be back, of course, on Monday night with the Villa. We might have a Villa. Are we doing a Villa watch along?
I don't know. I don't know. It actually is difficult until I get the man cave done. It's difficult because that's actually, what's it? Yeah, that's going to be hard. That's booting everyone out of the lounge at 7:45. Yeah, that's going to be difficult, mate, to be honest with you. I know. That's why we need the man cave. We need the dedicated space. Because I can't do it in here. Obviously, I can't watch telly in here.
Yes, but we'll be back with the review at the very least, but leave it with us. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're around here. Myself and Gonzo will be back with another video. Well, apart from the preview, you don't know where you're getting next, because even we're not sure what's coming next.
Dodo stuff.
Yeah, maybe. We'll catch you in a bit. Goodbye.